welcome to another episode of Friends, Food, and Relationships. What I'm going to talk about today is actually friendships from a disabled person's perspective. For those of you that don't know, I am a disabled person with a dual disability. One of my disabilities is physical. The other one is a learning difference. I say again, a learning difference. Let me explain. I have cerebral palsy. What that does, it doesn't allow me to walk without a walker or without an aid. I use a wheelchair for distance, and now for the dyslexia, what it is, I have severe dyslexia. I don't read or write, but I have a photographic memory, and I do a lot of volunteer work and things like that because I have the mental ability to do so. Now, the reason why this comes into play when it comes to friendships is because when you go to work, you have abilities to keep your social circle open. With me, it's a little different. It's a little more difficult. Not because I'm antisocial or anything of that nature. I'm a very social person, but because I don't work, my friendships are hard to get. But I'm also gonna say this. I do not talk to too many disabled people because they have a tendency, in my experience, in my opinion, they talk about stories and things of that nature. For example, when I was in high school, the disabled would ask me, hey, why don't you come hang out with us? And I would sit there and talk to my friends that did mutual things. So we talked and, whatever. So, it's why talk about surgeries when you don't need to do that? Why? It's something that I shy away from. I used to have a friend that is blind, but we lost touch, and I'll say it's for the better. I don't want to mention names. I don't want to do any of that. But all my friends are friends that I have made in different volunteer organizations, etc. I'll give you an example of a friend that I know. I have a friend of mine that works for a local hospital. I will not mention it. He works for an IT department for the local hospital. For example, I'll give you that example. And I have other friends that work for county, and they work for a lot of places because it's mutual interest. I'm also an amateur operator with an accreditation of examinations. Also, I give exams as part of one of my many hats as a volunteer. So it's interesting how you meet people. I never thought I would meet somebody working in an IT field, but because of the stuff I do, I met him, and because of him, I thank him because he's the one that helped me buy the computer. And here I am today talking to you, recording an episode on friendships. So you see what I'm saying? It's a little bit more difficult to have a friendship when you are disabled and don't have work. I tell you the truth. I wasn't gonna sit there and go to work at a Goodwill Industries, which they recommended. I'm not gonna go sit there and go to a day program just to spend time in the day program. I'm sorry. That's not me. That is not me. I don't sit there wasting my time with that stuff. I rather hang out with you. I rather sit home, do my podcasting work, do my admin work for the Facebook group, whatever. That's what I do. That's what I love to do. I'm sitting here right now with a Rodecaster Duo and a Rode Pod mic, and I enjoy it. It's a hobby of mine, and I love it. But one thing that I am going to say is, as disabled people, our hobbies tend to be more expensive. The reason they are more expensive is because we don't we don't we don't actually can go out and fly airplanes. For example, I could do that, but fly a model airplane, I could do that, or a drone. But the reason I don't do those things is because I would have to depend on somebody to drive me to take me somewhere. That's something I'm not gonna do. I'm not gonna do that. And that's also a solo hobby. It's interesting how you meet people from all walks of life doing what you do. I was talking to a buddy of mine the other day. I said, I'm interested in doing some episodes with my friends, different people that we have met differently, and that type of thing. So I'll say it is very nice. It is very nice, and I'm very social. I'm very social myself, but I also don't want to limit myself to one friend group. The friends that I have, I trust, because a lot of times I might need rides from them, and because I don't drive, and the only reason and way that I get rides from them is because when I actually am going their way. For example, I'll give an example. One Saturday morning, I bumped the mic. So one day during the week, a person that was doing the exam, doing a amateur radio exam, called me and said, "Oh, we're not gonna have the exam." I go, "Why not?" And she goes, "The examiner, the person teaching the class told me that we're not gonna have enough people." And I'm like, and I said to her, "Give me a day." I said, "Give me a day." So I called another friend of mine to see if he was going to that area. And no sooner did I say that, he goes, "Yeah." He goes, I asked him, he goes, "You need to go?" I said, "Yes." He said, "But I'll give it to you. I didn't have to be there till noon, but because I need a ride from him, I had to leave at 8 a.m. And we did that because he had a meeting to go to, in the same location, but so that wasn't a problem. So I helped out there and did that. That's one of those things that we have to do as disabled people. When we need to go somewhere, we have to accommodate those people. So that's what I'm going to say. As a matter of fact, yeah, I do that a couple times. And I try not to use special transportation services to get to places. When we have to do exams, because I don't want to be the fault of not showing up on time and delaying my team, because 9 times out of 10 I'm the only disabled person that's on that team for that particular exam. So, and as I say, we need three people to run the exam. If not, it does not work. So that's my life, and that's how I do things. That is my life, and that's how I do things. I just wanted to talk about friendships and how I do things, and how I help out my friends when I can, where I can, how I do things. And thank you for listening to this episode of Friends, Food, and thank you for listening to this episode of Friends, Food, and Relationships. Just a heads up, this episode will go out on a Friday instead of a Saturday, because I'm making a change to my upload schedule. With that, thank you for listening. And, before I go, I'm going to let you know that I am in a podcast group on Facebook we have merch to help people get new podcasters get equipment and stuff of that nature. So I will be putting that on my show notes